Good evening. Welcome back. Welcome back to ABN AMRO live broadcast. And I do have to apologize for yesterday. I guess our software is not it's not good enough for that many people. So anyway, we already talked. We have talked to the IT already, and they did the upgrade on the software. And yes, we will be able to handle the flow. So anyway, thank you very much. And yes, I am Amir Callahan. Thank you so much for your support as always. So today, you know what? I have prepared our class for today. Well, actually, since yesterday, it was the same class from yesterday, and some of the data is a little different. However, especially when we're talking about IEO, I'm not going to talk. We'll talk about it later about IEO. However, I have already prepared the whole course for us that the IEO this Sunday. So anyway, stay tuned and let's go over what we're going to go over today. The market is you just don't know what is going on, what direction is going to be. Besides crypto is totally just one direction. It's just nowhere else but up. However, for the stock market, that there is a little different. So anyway, we're going to go over the financial news, and then afterwards the market. We have the stock market and also the crypto market. And then we are going to start going over the history again. Well, we got to go over some more about the cryptocurrency development. So let's start going. We have financial news. There are only for the last few days there are only two subjects in the market. Is basically forget about the crypto market is a totally different thing. That's we're going to go over. However, we have two things. We have Nvidia that everybody just have their eye on the Nvidia, and I was looking at that too because it is the biggest company in market caps in the world. And then we also have the next. What is going to happen for the next Federal Reserve meetings, and how many times are they going to cut the interest rates? And a quarter percent at a time. So it's like 25 basis points. That's what you're looking at. So Morgan Stanley, the analyst, has trying to predict what is going to happen. It's basically very very similar to what I have in mind. So that's why I want to go over it, because most of the analysts, I could say, they are predicting they're going to skip the interest rate cuts next month. So, but you know what? Yes, if we're gonna look at the data, look at all the numbers coming in. We're looking at the inflation number, and then also we're looking at the employment numbers. Yes, it might be an issue afterwards, and we'll go over more about especially the inflationary and also the employment number, especially employment number, because there are so many companies they're laying off their people. So yes, and we'll go over that. So anyway, let's look into Morgan Stanley, what they have to say. Morgan Stanley, they are saying that is the Federal Reserve to implement a series of the 4 consecutive 25 basis points interest rate cuts, bringing the federal rates to 3.6 to 5% by May 2025. That's what they are saying, that there are going to be a few more cuts of a 25 basis points. That is in line with the prediction of the Federal Reserve themselves, actually. So let's keep going with the report. The bank forecasts to reflect the slower economic growth, labor market cooling, and also the persistent inflationary pressure. So basically what they're saying, that the GDP is going to slow down, labor market is not going to be as good as before, and also the inflation is going to go up. I agree with their rate cuts. I do, because that has been always like the Federal Reserve chair we have, Jerome Powell, had said similar things. Even though he said it last week that we might not have a rate cut next month. However, the rate is in line. But I have to say it is wrong that Morgan Stanley kind of predicted wrong when it comes to the GDP goals. GDP is going to grow slower than expected, and then we have the labor market is cooling, and also the persistent inflationary pressure, which means that the inflation is going to go up. Do have question about it. So anyway, let me keep going. And Morgan Stanley highlighted that the lower immigration flows and more tariffs are weighted on the GDP growth and also contributed to the sticky inflation. While Morgan Stanley said inflation is projected to decelerated through early 2025. They added that in the expectation that remains above the 2%, which is expected from the Federal Reserve through 2026. The firm forecasted the core PCE inflation is at 2.8% for the 2024, 2.5 for 2025, and also 2.4 back a little bit at 2026. The bank also adds that economic growth and anticipated the slower significantly, with the GDP projected to grow 2.4% in 2024, 1.9% 2025, and 1.3% in 2026 year-over-year basis. So now this is what I don't agree on. Morgan Stanley, probably they're Democrats. The reason why is, yes, we are talking about the interest rate cuts. Yes, it's in line. It's definitely in line. However, the first thing they talked about is the lower immigration flow, because we are going to be, well, we don't know it yet, but we are going to be deporting a lot of the migrants, the illegal migrants, and then, or maybe the ones that kind of came in and seek asylums, and it didn't really work. So Donald Trump, our next president, has already said that they are going to deport them even if it has to come to using our military to do that. I do have to agree on that, because the whole world, the only country in the world that actually have an open border policy is United States of America. That is our country. We let all these migrants coming in illegally, and yes, if you live in New York, just like, I see them every day. I see the tents every day all over the place, and it's just getting real bad. And then I'm so glad that I don't have to take the subway, because I'm living so close to work. But no, it is getting real bad. All right, and then. But, so many analysts are saying that, because we got all these migrants, that we can lower our average salary for our workers. And that just doesn't make sense, because there are so many people that came in as an illegal, and they got their work permit. And then they are willing, and some of them don't even get the work permit, stop working, and they're willing to take a lower, they are willing to take a lower wage to do that work. And then economists actually take in consideration of that. So that's how bad it's got. So you know what? Our country is going to be a little better than before. We're going to change it. So that is the reason why I don't agree with a lot of things that with the Morgan Stanley, even though it's in line with the rate cuts. All right. So anyway, that is the prediction. There are things I agree. There are things that I don't agree. Let's see what is going to happen. A lot of we still have to base on our numbers, on our economic data. So that's why we've got to pay attention to that, and that is Morgan Stanley on our on our rate cuts. The second one we're looking at is NVIDIA. The reason why NVIDIA, again, it is because it is so important because they just had their earning report yesterday. And then because this company, it is the biggest company in the world in market caps. So that's why this company, any moves is going to move market, and that's not just our stock market, also crypto as well, because of it is related, it is AI and tech related. So that's the reason why that we have to pay attention to it. And let me give you a little little information on this company too. Just this year, this company, the growth of the S&P 500, 1/4 of the growth, it is NVIDIA. Another 1/4 of the growth of S&P 500 this year is the rest of the Max 7s. So in a way that what I can say is that you have 496 companies that is in the S&P 500. Yes, S&P 500 actually is not 500 companies. Actually, it is 503 companies that made up the S&P 500. And we have 494 companies. Is that right? 596 companies that only made up the growth of 50% of the S&P 500. So that's how significant that NVIDIA is. Basically, NVIDIA itself is worth the rest of the Magnificent Sevens. So anyway, that's the growth. Only I'm talking about growth. So anyway, let's look into the numbers, because right before the report, all the analysts from all over the world, they want a piece of this. They want to know what is going to happen, and we already had our AI. We had our AI kind of calibrated it, so that's why I'm not going to talk about it. But let's look into other analysts and say what they have to say. First of all, we have Rosenblatt Security. They maintained the buy ratings for the NVIDIA, and with a price of 200 now. So we are looking at 160 right now for the stock price, and the target price is 200. So anyway, the revenue they estimated for the third quarter were 32.5, and remember this numbers, $32.5 billion. The non-GAAP ESP, 73 cents for that. And then also we have Morgan Stanley also kept the overwhelmed rating for NVIDIA, highlighting the potential of the Blackwell production line, which we are going to talk about it because they had problems with the Blackwell production line. But it's just really strange that everything just came together. As soon as they announced the Blackwell, they have a problem with overheating because of the power of the Blackwell system is so much. There's so much more than the Hopper system, so that's why it overheated. But it's been solved. The problem has been solved, and we're going to go over that. So Evercore ISI also maintained a very positive stance for that because of the cloud service. And then Jefferies raised the price target as well. So anyway, everybody's raising the target price because they kind of think that yes, it is. If it's not for the earnings, it's going to be the rest of the year. It's going to get there. I have seen predictions that NVIDIA is going to get to $4 trillion in market caps by the end of this. If it's not today, this by the end of this year. How I'm seeing it is that it's going to get there by the next year, the new 2025 first quarter. So we have a lot of numbers going on. It's all for NVIDIA, so which is great. So anyway, let's look into their earning report. So the Q3 earning reports, actually, it is great. They just came out with earning report yesterday after the bell, and I was going to share with you with the report yesterday, but I do have to apologize again because of the system failure. Let's look into the EPS. 81 cents instead of the 74 cents of the EPS. So it's quite a bit. It's up quite a bit. However, the revenue is $35.1 billion, even though the street is anticipated at 33.2. That is, in general, the street estimated it. However, most of the other analysts kind of think that it's going to be more than $35 billion. So that's quite interesting. And that's the reason why it has to do with their stock today is just kind of flat. Even though it meets and exceeded that everybody general expectation, but a lot of other the analysts expected a lot more because the growth rates actually is slowing down. So anyway, the Nvidia also said that it's anticipated the revenue for $37.5 billion plus or minus 2%. That is just ahead of the Wall Street expectation of $37 billion, which is another, again, the general expectation, yes, they beat the expectation. However, because of the plus and minus 2% of the 37.5, the rest of the world, they are thinking about $38 billion, which is the reason why that is not going up. However, this something is kind of nice that the data center, the revenue is basically the major revenue, brought $30.8 billion in this quarter. And then when the expectation is $29 billion. So the segment generated $14.5 billion in the last year quarter up to Q3 last year. So you're comparing 14.5 to 30.8, that's almost doubled. So it is very impressive. Well, when we are looking at this, the share of Nvidia were up 192% just this year. And there's one thing too. We are looking at trying to compare the revenue with the others. Let's look into Nvidia's gaming revenue. The gaming revenue also, but everywhere else is slowing down. But Nvidia, because the revenue is like $3.3 billion from the $2.8 billion that is from last year. AMD, the same division, the gaming revenue went down 69%. That's what we reported last time. So, I mean, like, yes, they have direct competitors. We have AMD, we have Intel trying to jump into this industry, but no, they are nowhere close to what they are doing right now. So then, anyway, so AMD, like with Nvidia, it's like 92% up this year. Looking at AMD, it's down 5% this year. Also, that Intel is down more than 50% this year. So that's Nvidia. That's an earning report. People are expecting way too much from Nvidia, but you know what? And usually it takes them takes the whole market to kind of digest it for a little bit. Usually, this is extremely normal. But yeah, but you'll be seeing the surge in the next few days or maybe next week. That's Nvidia, that's for sure. However, they had a problem with the Blackwell system. And I want to go over what is the Blackwell system anyway. How powerful is the Blackwell system and how significant that is to the Gen AI era. So anyway, let's look into that because they have a problem with the Blackwell, but they already, even before that, they already have a solution. That solution is from a failing company, which we have been, this is the third time we will cover it. It is Supermicro Computer. Supermicro Computer is being frightened that they are going down, being delisted because like they have a deadline last week that they're supposed to they report their earnings. However, they have not reported to the SEC. So that's why that they are being frightened that it's going to be listed. The stock was down. They were down. I mean, this year it was up 318%, and then all of a sudden, because of all these financial problems that they have, and they really need somebody, they need a new CFO. Definitely they do. Now their staff is down like around 33% this year. However, they have a problem. It has to do with Blackwell. Because they will have been working with Blackwell system that they may have to forfeit it before because that cost is going to cost them too much. They are having the inventory that's so much more than expected, and then the revenue is so much lower than before, and that's the reason why they have the finance problem. However, that is one product that is going to help them. It is the liquid cooling system, and the reason why is that the problem for the Blackwell system is that they're overheating because they are processing too much information. And then how different, because right now NVIDIA is using the Hopper system. They're going to switch it to Blackwell. And what is the difference in that? Blackwell is just the processing, just come on to the processing speed is like 2.5 times faster than the Hopper. And also when it comes to generative AI processing speed, it is actually 25 times more. So there is such a significant difference. So that is why it gets overheat. But Supermicro computer already have it done. They have a new system. They have a new cooling system for it. So that actually helps their stocks going back up. When talked about Monday, the stocks went back up 14%, but it's kept coming down too. It is coming down to, but really they have to really release the earning report, and they haven't, but they said they're going to. So anyway, this is Supermicro computer. It is a roller coaster for it. If you want to buy in dips, I mean, it is really dips. If you believe that this company is not going to go bankrupt, then it might be a good time to see where is the lowest point. Then that's Supermicro computer. The next one we are going to go over is Tesla. So, well, anyway, since as you know that Elon Musk has been spending all his time with Donald Trump, and you know ever since the election, and he helped with the election as well. So now we have this. They have a news coming out and saying that there could be a deregulation in the self-driving cars. So the reason why it is so different when it comes to robotaxis is one of his big projects. And yes, not just robotaxi. We have robotaxi and we have the self-driving. So it has the FSD, full self-driving, and then also we have the humanoid that is basically a robot from Tesla. And next time I'm gonna come to you and go talk to you about what is the newest thing for Tesla, not just the SpaceX, the rockets that NASA is basically just using SpaceX instead of developing on their own. There is one more thing they are doing. It is phenomenal. I saw the testing on that. It is crazy. So this is going to put, just all this thing is going to put Tesla on the map again. $1 trillion market cap is going to be nothing. All right. So anyway, let's go over the robotaxi first. The Cybercab, that's what they call it. What it is that because of Donald Trump is going to be our next president, and they are probably going to deregulate their self-driving cars regulations, because right now what they're doing is state by state. The only state there are only two states that's allowing self-driving cars is California and Texas. But with this, because this is a state matter, however, later on, what's going to happen is this regulations is going to go federal. So which means that Elon Musk doesn't have to go state by state to get the approval. It's going to be a federal law for it. So then one law, one approval, and it is going to pass for all over the United States. So that is the reason why that we saw that was a push on Monday, that there's a 7% boost on the stock. And right now the stock is doing fine right now. So anyway, we just look into the numbers right now. We have since November 5th, the stock's been up 28%, around 28% right now. So right now it's the price is around $340 something per shares. It's looking great. So that is Tesla, and that is more news for that. This is more like tabloids, all right. Anyway, and it's interesting that we have Kim Kardashian. If you know who she is, everybody knows who she is, and then it's showing off her Tesla robot, the Optimus bot, that just like she was introducing that the robot is her new friend. It is like meet her new friends. That is Optimus bot for Kim Kardashians. They were just hanging out, and interacting with each other, and then doing hand signs, like the Korean like love signs. So it is quite interesting. And then of course Kim was asking for advice from the robots, and then they were doing some interaction and things like that. And not just that, and I don't know why she got one, like maybe she knows Elon Musk, because mostly those bots are still being trained right now by the employees, and also gathering data from by Tesla employees. But anyway, not just that one. And then we have that she's showing off the robot is taking her to a robo-taxi, the cybercab. So she got to enjoy both the cybercab and also the humanoid. Anyway, Elon Musk is saying that the robot basically is going to be cheaper than the robotaxi. The robotaxi is going to be $30,000 with no steering wheel, no paddles. Just basically, you just tell them where to go and it will go. But it's going to be cheaper than that. I remember there was the time when they were going to switch direction, when they, instead of doing a fully FSD and the robotaxi, they were going to have the humanoid to drive their cars. So then, but anyway, they changed the direction, and I'm grateful about that. A lot of other companies were trying to do that. So anyway, the humanoid, what can this robot do? A lot. You can take care of your kids, babysit your kids, take your kids to school. You can be a teacher, excuse me, mow your lawn, get your groceries, or just being your friend, or serving you drinks. So, which is really awesome. They are looking at the price under $30,000. You're looking at about maybe $26,000, which is totally worth it. Excuse me. I am talking too loud, too excited. So that is Tesla. That's a lot of great news. The next one I'm going to go over is MicroStrategy, which is we went over this, but however, they did something different. They did more. They bought more Bitcoin. If you guys don't remember what MicroStrategy is the company adopted buying Bitcoin ever since the Bitcoin is in the 40,000 per coin. So anyway, they have adopted this strategy, and then they have to report it. So in between November 11th to November 17th, they purchased extra 51,780 Bitcoin worth $4.6 billion, with an average cost of each of the Bitcoin is $88,627. How much is Bitcoin right now? It is over $98,000, so it's $10,000 more than they purchased for, but it is not that. The more is that they have a total, their Bitcoin reserve is total of 331,200 of them, which approximately spent them $16.5 billion. However, the average cost of each of the Bitcoin is 49,874 per Bitcoin. So think about, they basically double their investment already, and that's the reason why the stock kept going up and is not stopping. If Bitcoin goes up, this company's stock price is going to go up. So anyway, how is the stock price? Yesterday, it was 504 per shares. That's the highest point, 504 per shares. When it closed Monday, it was 389. Well, it was like a 389, and then afterwards, it was last week. Actually, it was sorry about that. It was Friday last week. They closed at 389, but this week, that when Monday is open, is $430, and right now it came back down a little bit, 470 something, but it went all the way to $504 per shares. So this company, I have to say, you don't have to be a tech company to rise like a tech company. So that's MicroStrategy. Now let's go into Boeing, and I have no idea that Boeing, as we covered, that the Boeing's employees been going on strike for a long time, and then they finally reached an agreement. So I think they are going to, for the next 4 years, they're going to have their salary raised to like 36%. In the next 4 years, so great. And but at the time that on the strike, during the strike, the new CEO actually frightened them that they're going to fire them off. So anyway, I have no idea what he was thinking, but the FAA, they're going to have a meeting with the new CEO. In these few days, that is going to look into what's happening with the production line, because they're having a problem. Our government has their eye on this company, because because this company is too big to fail. So that's why anyway, they just announced they are going to lay off more than 2,200 workers in the United States of Washington and Oregon. So Oregon sold them, but it's just this two states. But this is just the beginning, because they are trying to cut more jobs, a total of 17,000. So with all the companies cutting people that we have reported last time, by January, we are going to be seeing a huge jump on unemployment and also initial jobless claim. So we are gonna have a big issue with that. And the Federal Reserve is gonna be we'll be looking into this because of the two mandates. We have the inflationary and also the employment problems. So anyway, they are the Boeing, they are required by law with the workers adjustment and retraining notification, which means that they have to have a 60 days notification before they're gonna fire somebody. So anyway, and it's kind of funny. The new CEO, the name's Kelly Albert, was saying that they are not gonna take up people from the production and also the engineering lab. But we found out that no, it wasn't. He was saying that's what he was saying, but No, that's not the case. The reason why that we have a report afterwards and saying that they are yes, they are firing production people and the engineers. So 438, they just got the pink slip. So 438 of the union members at the Boeing's being laid off last week, which is in production, and also 218 engineers and 220 technicians are being laid off as well. So this person is just has always, I don't know what he was thinking. He's just maybe really extremely smart or just don't like to keep his words. So anyway, that is Boeing. Well, let's go back to some good news. Walmart. Well, actually, this is good news and bad news. And we are going to go a little extensive on this one next time, Sunday. And the reason why is Walmart just had the earning report is meeting and exceeding expectation, and that's why the stock went up quite a bit. Well, it went up a little bit, but it's been flat. Right now, in this market right now, if you are not meeting and exceeding expectation, your stock price goes down. However, if you are doing that, if you're doing great, well, it will be flat for the stock market. So anyway, let's look into the numbers. We have the EPS 58 cents, expectations is 53, so this is good. And we have the revenue $169.6 billion is much more than the expectation of 167.67, so almost $2 billion more. And the reason why is that it has to do with them. Their revenue is growing in every sector. I mean, every single sector. Let's look into the more tangible ones. We have the total comparable sales performance in the U.S. rose 5.5%. Expectations 3.8, and then we have the U.S. in-store. We have the Walmart only U.S. store sales increase 5.3%. Expectation 3.73% of the estimates. That's up to. And don't forget, Walmart owns Sam's Club. So Sam's Club is up 7%. So, and then once I got here, I'm like done. I don't even want to get into them online sales. So online sales definitely is going to meet any expectation. But because another reason is because that I start seeing Target earnings. Target is not meeting and is not exceeding expectation, is doing bad, and bad. Just yesterday it stopped because right after they have the earning came out, their stock went down over 22%. So that's how bad it was. It lost over 1/5 of the company's value, and that's how bad it is. But you know what? We have Walmart right now, so why would we all want to go to Target, right? I kind of used to like Target better because it's cleaner. But now you don't even have to go to Target to get or go to Walmart to get anything. But Walmart they have the guarantee, right? Lowest price guarantee, right? So I can shop online. They do the deliveries, and they were doing the prescription drugs as well. Great work, I have to say. Walmart, if you have Walmart, Target, you're going down. Last one we're gonna have, I am not very happy with this one here. So stay away from this company, British company. Anyway, we have HSBC Holdings. Yes, what it is that why am I going to go over this? Because they just announced that some of the employee has to reapply for their own job again because they are doing a restructure of their institutional banking division. So they're combining two divisions together, the international and the local. When it's the investment divisions, and they go combine it together. But every single person, especially they're in a management position, that they will have to reapply for their job. And I have seen this before, and it's other British companies. I'm not gonna name names, but that's what they do. I call it is the dick move, but you know what? That's what they do, and I'm not gonna say too much about that. What it is, they're saying that top management, the general manager, they're going to change the title to management director, but a lot of the managers they might lose their job. They're not very sure about that, but they have to go back to HR and reapply for their own job. I've seen companies doing very similar things, which but it's actually worse. What it is that they make their employees in the whole department reapply for the job the same time. However, what they did was that they canceled the whole department and then they set up a brand new company so then they don't have to pay their pensions reapplying for so they don't have to keep the benefits with the original company. So they cut the benefits, so and then they have to reapply for their job, and they basically lower the salary as well because they are running the different company because it is considered outsourced company but still owned by the mother company. So that is so British that I don't see us Americans doing that. So that is just horrible, I have to say. But anyway, so just a report that is what's going on in the world. HSBC, stay away from that. So anyway, so that is our financial news. So now let's look into the market analysis. Market analysis that we have. Let's look into stock market. Stock market today. Yesterday, everything's down, but I expected it because that Nvidia is going to have the report, and they're going to give Nvidia rooms. So that's the reason why all three of the stock index were down. However, all three of them were up today, but I can't really say they were all up because that they are kind of just flat line. They're just in the green. That's all. So that's why. And that's the reason why after the US stock market closed Wednesday, Nvidia have the report which we just reported and is actually exceeded expectation. So, but the street was not happy about that because Nvidia is not doing as good as before. We are talking about just growth in at least double digits or triple digits, right? So that's the reason why that everybody is not very happy. However, it takes the market to kind of settle in on the information, but they are still doing well, and they're still heading towards a $4 trillion. The market cap. So that's the reason why it kind of stabilized. So, but the stock market is not the biggest news, and we have a lot of gainer. We have a lot of which I'm going to cover on Sunday. All right. So it's quite interesting when it comes to today. It's the stock market, and there are several individual stocks just, oh my God, what just happened, right? So anyway, we'll go over that Sunday. So let's go into the more important part of today is the crypto market. Because yes, Bitcoin just broke through 98,000 level. Congratulations. You know who are the people I'm talking to. And then it is the first time ever, and then when it hit Thursday, and then it just went all the way up, right? So, as investors predicted that Trump would take cryptocurrency industry and unprecedented level during the second term of the presidency. A lot of people just thinking that because it's going to be deregulated, and it's going to be easier. But I think the reason why for this surge is because it has to do with the ETFs, the ETF future. It would just came out yesterday by BlackRock ETFs, like BlackRock Bitcoin ETF future. That is gonna help that because the volume was totally insane yesterday. So and they are not shorting them. They are not shorting them the Bitcoin because everybody knows that it is surging. So that it helps. The search of Bitcoin right now is 98,000. Everybody's talking about is when is it gonna hit 100,000 level? Well, what I can tell you, my prediction is going to be on the safe side. It might even it might even break 100,000 by by next week with the momentum right now. And as you see that I have been talking about it in the investment group, but yes, definitely that is a guarantee. Is that when Donald Trump take office next in January, yes, it's gonna surge through 100,000 level, and the 100,000 is going to be the new support level for Bitcoin. So yes, congratulations, and then the futures too. That is even more money into that. So now that is the stock in the crypto market. So now, yes, we are going to go over a little more about the history of cryptocurrency next time. And I have already prepared everything for you. Next time, we are going to go over IEO. And you know that I have been negotiating with the IEO deals. And the reason why I have to talk to I have to talk to the IEO people that how much can we get? Can we get some, right? Can we get some? I can't use the word quota, but there's can we get some allotment for the IEO? So that's the reason why I'm in negotiation with that. I think we're gonna get it, but anyway, let's see what's gonna happen. But I am gonna introduce you more about IEO after this. After this broadcast, I'm going to talk to you about it in the group, and then I will have the topic in the next broadcast. So let's go over. Let's see what's going on with the cryptocurrency, the full history. So because we have Bitcoin, yes, we have that, but we also have Ethereum, Ether, and also its ERC20 tokens. And how is it different? They are very different when it comes to Bitcoin and Ether. And now the use of Bitcoin and Ether is very different too. And then, well, the nature of it is different because you can mine Bitcoin, and Ether is totally different currency. That Bitcoin, you want to use it for investment, or future. However, Ether, nowadays we use it as just a cryptocurrency that we use this to spend money on buying other things. So this is quite interesting, and it's just that when it comes to Ethereum is almost like a currency that you use, but if you don't use it, you keep it in a crypto wallet, it grew in value. So that is actually great. So anyway, we will go over more about that. And don't forget about Solana. Solana is the one that is the black horse. It's the black horse of the cryptocurrencies that no one really pay attention to, but it's growing better than Bitcoin and Ethereum. Excuse me. So let's go over the history of Ether. So on July 30th, 2015, the Ether network was officially launched. Ethereum, currently the second largest cryptocurrency, the crypto assets by market cap, but smart contracts. We talked about what smart contract is, and also decentralized finance to the cryptocurrency world. So we usually call Bitcoin is a crypto gold, Ethereum is a crypto silver, and the Solana is a crypto copper. So anyway, so this achievement allows Ethereum to run an entire ecosystem on the blockchain while also hosting its own native currency. So Ether ETH, the smallest unit of the Ether is known as Wei. So which is like a lot of zeros behind that. If you want to learn more, then you can Google it. You'll find out about that. However, let's go over what is a ERC20 tokens insurance. So a token is a cryptocurrency that does not have its own dedicated blockchain, but instead use the blockchain of and other crypto assets. Token on Ethereum network are called ERC20 tokens. The first ERC token was released in 2015. It was a crypto asset called ARGA. So since then, a large number of tokens have been created just on the Ethereum blockchain. There are now more than 200,000 ERC tokens, which means that there is a huge cryptocurrency ecosystem running on a single blockchain. And yes, it sounds very complicated, but next time, well, after this broadcast, and also the next time when in the broadcast, we will go over what blockchain, and also we have Web3s. What are all this gibberish? That's what they call it. And but you know what? It's very simple. It's just all the wordings we are not very familiar with, but it is very simple. So anyway, let me keep going. Since then, the crypto world has never stopped. Since in July 2018, Bitcoin hits its all-time high, and since then, many new crypto assets have emerged, including the EOS, the Trons, well, EOS at July 2017, Tron at September 2017, and also Conros October 2017. The crypto market currently has more than 2,000 digital currencies, and it's growing. And did you see, like we were talking about this in the group, that you realize that, right? There's a Trump token that just went up to 2,500 times today. That is very impressive. So anyway, that was an IEO from yesterday, and it came up so fast already. So anyway, let me keep going. So in fact, that is easy to see that how cryptocurrencies are slowly but surely going global. And yes, the United States is the leader. The rise of the cryptocurrency is also leading to more and more recognitions and use cases. Now that central bank digital currencies are being created, and major companies are starting to invest in blockchain and cryptocurrencies and showing more interest in them. It is clear that the event like this will drive the rapid expansion of the cryptocurrency market. So crypto assets will continue to gain popularity, become more important, and have more use cases. The number of Bitcoin ATMs, if you live in New York, you probably see them all over, right? So it's continuing to increase. More and more businesses accepting cryptocurrencies as a payment of methods, and yes, they are. Even though, you remember, like the presidential campaign, Donald Trump is only the first president that accept cryptocurrencies as donation. So yes, and that's how important it is. So the crypto assets have become a fundraising methods, including the presidential campaign, and you can even travel around the world with cryptocurrencies. The scope of cryptocurrencies is still expanding rapidly, just like their price are soaring. So don't forget about the recent 2016, the price of Bitcoin was less than only $1,000. And think about all these years. Within 8 years, it is close to 10,000 already. That is quite insane. So yes, and that's all the information that you have. And thank you very much for your participation and your support as well. So well, we are going to. And don't worry about it. We are going to talk more about crypto. All right, it's all about crypto because lately crypto has been the real thing. So thank you very much, and have a good night for the people that's really tired. Have a good night. I will talk to you very soon. All right. I will talk to you this weekend, but don't forget to get back to the investment group, and I'm going to tell you more information about crypto. Thank you very much.